Hey guys, welcome back. Have you ever walked away from a conversation with a woman and thought, wait, was she interested in me? Chances are she might have been sending signals that completely flew under your radar. In fact, 99% of men miss this one key way women show they're into you. And trust me, if you catch on to these subtle cues, you'll never have to question a woman's interest again. Today, I'm revealing the hidden signs that women use to communicate their attraction. Signs so subtle that most guys overlook them entirely. But once you learn to recognize them, you'll see the world of female flirtation with a brand new perspective. So let's break it down. When it comes to women, we often assume that they'll be straightforward if they're interested. Maybe they'll give you a big smile, a wink, or some other unmistakable sign. But here's the reality. That's not how most women operate. Instead, they rely on a more subtle, almost secret language to communicate their interest. And because it's not obvious, 99% of men completely overlook it. Today, I'm going to walk you through these hidden signs in a way that connects them, so you can start recognizing them in the women you meet, whether it's in a casual setting, a workplace environment, or even just a quick interaction at your favorite coffee shop. If you follow along, by the end of this video, you'll have a deeper understanding of female behavior and know how to read between the lines. Let's start with one of the most overlooked indicators of attraction, the voice shift. The voice shift. Creating an intimate connection. When a woman is attracted to you, one of the first things that changes, without her even realizing it, is her voice. I'm not talking about her accent or the speed of her speech. It's about the subtle shift in tone, pitch, and delivery. Think about the way you speak to someone you're excited to see. Your tone becomes more vibrant, right? But with women, it's often the opposite. When they like someone, their voice softens, becomes more melodic, and even a little breathy. Why does this happen? It's because when a woman's interested in you, she instinctively wants to create an intimate connection. A softer, more tender voice invites you in, makes the conversation feel more private, like she's only speaking to you even if you're in a crowded room. It's her way of breaking down barriers, of saying, this conversation isn't just small talk, I'm enjoying every moment of it. Now here's the kicker. Most men miss this entirely. Why? Because we're too busy focusing on what she's saying instead of how she's saying it. Next time you're talking to a woman, try to tune in to these changes. Is her voice softer when she addresses you? Is there a hint of warmth or sweetness that wasn't there before? It's like a private invitation into her world. And the more she leans into this softer tone, the more she's signaling her growing attraction. But voice changes aren't the only hidden sign to watch out for. Women are also very strategic when it comes to what they choose to share with you. That brings us to the next point, the secret sharing strategy. Secret sharing, testing the waters of trust and intimacy. Here's a fact. Women rarely reveal personal details unless they feel some level of trust or attraction. When she starts sharing those personal stories, even small, seemingly insignificant ones, it's a signal that she's inviting you to know her better. This is where a lot of guys go wrong. They think she's just being friendly or that she's talkative by nature. But when a woman is revealing things she doesn't usually tell people, or starts a sentence with, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but it's not just random. It's deliberate. She's letting you into her world. It might be a childhood memory, a quirky habit, or even a small personal struggle. The content isn't as important as the act of sharing itself. She's testing the waters to see how you'll respond. Will you judge her? Will you reciprocate? Will you take the opportunity to reveal something about yourself? When she shares these little secrets, it's her way of saying, I want to build something more than just surface-level conversation. I want to create a connection that's based on mutual understanding and trust. And here's the most important part. She wants you to reciprocate. If she's opening up to you, don't just listen and nod along. Share something about yourself too. Show her that you value her trust and are willing to build a bridge of intimacy between the two of you. This creates a loop of connection that deepens your bond, making her feel safe and comfortable around you. The moment you reciprocate, you're reinforcing her decision to share with you, making her feel even more drawn to you. This cycle of sharing and responding creates a level of intimacy that's hard to ignore. But of course, this isn't just about what she says, it's also about her body language. Body language, the hidden compass of attraction. Now let's talk about body language, one of the most misinterpreted aspects of female attraction. It's no secret that women are far more expressive with their bodies than men, but there's one tiny, seemingly insignificant cue that speaks volumes: the direction of her knees when she's sitting. Yes, you heard that right. Her knees. It might sound crazy, but the orientation of her legs can tell you a lot about her level of interest. When a woman is sitting, whether it's at a table, on a couch, or just perched on a chair, the direction her knees point reveals where her focus is. If her knees are pointed directly at you, it's like she's saying, "You have my full attention." It's her body's way of aligning itself with you, directing energy and interest your way. Think of it like this. When we're engaged in something or someone we find intriguing, we naturally lean in, face them, and orient ourselves towards them. Women do the same thing, but it's often subtler. Her knees might be angled towards you while her body is slightly turned away. But make no mistake, it's a clear sign that you have her attention. But what if her knees are pointed away? Don't panic just yet. Body language is complex, and no single cue should be read in isolation. However, if you notice her knees consistently pointing in your direction, along with other signs like leaning in, tilting her head, or maintaining strong eye contact, you've got a pretty good indication that she's interested in you. Next time you're sitting across from a woman, take a moment to observe this small detail. Is she facing you, or is her body closed off? These tiny cues often reveal more than words ever could. Acts of care. Protecting what's yours. Moving on to another under-the-radar sign of attraction: how she treats your belongings. This one's subtle, but incredibly telling. Let's say you leave your jacket or phone on the table and you go to the restroom. If she instinctively moves your belongings to a safer spot, watches over them, or even does something like fold your jacket neatly, it's not just her being polite. It's a sign of care. Women often express interest by showing investment in your well-being, and this extends to your belongings. If she's willing to protect or take care of your stuff, it's because she's already started to feel a sense of responsibility and concern for you. This doesn't mean she's ready to be your girlfriend just because she watches over your laptop, but it's an indicator that she's seeing you as someone worth caring for. Remember, when she starts treating your things with a level of respect and attention to detail, it's a reflection of how she feels about you. It's a small but meaningful gesture that communicates, "I'm looking out for you." And these little acts build up over time, deepening her investment in your relationship. Follow-up messages. Keeping you on her mind. Finally, let's talk about a modern sign of attraction that's become increasingly relevant in our digital age: the follow-up message. You might think that a simple text saying, "It was nice to see you," is just a polite gesture. But think again. When a woman sends a personalized follow-up message after you've hung out, it's her way of keeping the connection alive. If she references a joke you made, shares a meme that reminds her of something you talked about, or sends a random, "I thought of you when I saw this" message, it's her way of saying, "You're on my mind." Women don't take time out of their day to send these messages to someone they have zero interest in. If she's reaching out like this, she's trying to maintain a thread of conversation that keeps you two connected, even when you're apart. The key here is to respond with enthusiasm and appreciation. Don't let her efforts fall flat by giving a one-word response or waiting hours to reply. Show her that you value her reaching out. Reflect on the conversation, add your own twist, and keep the dialogue going. These follow-up messages are her way of nurturing the spark, ensuring that your interaction doesn't end just because you're no longer physically together. It's a subtle but powerful way of keeping the chemistry alive.